Hey friends, we are back in the kitchen. It is Wednesday the 12th. I took some time during lunch and I went to the store and I discovered a really good deal. Brisket. Okay? So I wasn't planning on buying this, but for the price, $3.99. Now it's a beef brisket, decal fat removed. That's the big decal part, okay? There's two parts to a brisket. There's the lean part, the thin part, right here, and then there's the decal part. The top part of the decal, which is mostly fat, has been removed. So this was $29 and change, and I just couldn't pass it up with the price of brisket. But cool thing about this is we're gonna do two things with this. We are gonna take the thin part right here, we're gonna remove it, and we're gonna make corned beef. And this is going to be a series video. This is going to take about a week from start to finish, and then we'll just kind of go through the process. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take this brisket. Now the rest of the brisket I'm going to vac pack it, right? And then when I want to, when it's not 110 degrees out and I can get outside to the barbecue, I'll smoke this fattier part of the brisket, and that will be a barbecue brisket that we can slice or dice. So that's what we're doing today. Let's make some corned beef. Let's have some fun now. Guys, when I process a big old piece of meat like this, I'm gonna get the trash can and I'm gonna lay some paper towels down. Just because of the blood and everything. But a really good way is just to kind of hold up the bag, pull the bag down, capture a lot of that blood. It's kind of slippery, so I'm doing my best here. You know, and then just lay down that meat on them paper towels. And then we'll go ahead and take some other paper towels and we'll just kind of pat that down. We want to get that blood out of there. And I'm going to finish this up. All right, guys, you can see the part right here. This is the decal part. This is the fattier part, which is fine if you're going to smoke a brisket. But for the lean part, I'm going to take this right here and I'm going to go ahead and slice that off, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to put this thin part. Now we're going to come back here in a second and we're going to trim this, okay? We've got to trim a lot of that fat. But for now, I'm going to move it to the side, and we're going to go ahead and take this part, and we're going to vac pack it. So I'm going to go ahead and get that into the bag. We just harvested some carrots this morning. These are our summer carrots. Summer carrots, I don't think are as pretty as the winter ones, but they're still carrots. You can peel them, and look at all them Scotch bonnets. Okay, so we're going to take this fattier brisket, and we're going to vac pack it, and when it cools down, we're going to go ahead and fire up the smoker. I'll be honest with you guys, people think, you know, those of us here in Texas or in the South do a lot of barbecue in the summer. We really don't. It's just too hot to be out there manning a smoker for hours. We don't. I don't know about anybody else, but we do a lot more cooking and smoking in the fall, the winter, and early spring. That's just kind of how we do things. I'm going to set this and vac pack it. Alright, we are vac packed. Everything looks good. I'm going to label it and we're going to drop it in our deep freeze in the mud room. And we're ready to fire up the smoker here. We'll have a brisket. Okay guys, we're going to take this lean brisket and we're going to go ahead and trim some of this top fat off. I want the liquid brine to be able to touch the meat. Now there's going to be some fat in there and that's fine. That does make for a decent corned beef. But I do want to get a lot of that fat off the surface. Now keep the fat, guys. I've been saving beef scraps and beef fat, and what we're going to do is we'll save that, we freeze it, and when we have enough, this winter I like to make homemade beef sausage. We have pork casings, natural casings, and we'll make homemade sausage. I'll make sure to do a video on that for y'all. Again, you want to keep some of the fat, but I want to get some of this surface meat. That's really fatty right there. Well, another day of 105. We're hanging in there. The garden is pretty much done. I harvested them carrots early this morning and watered the pepper plants that we have alive. We've been producing a lot of Scotch bonnets. The jalapenos have kind of stopped. They'll come back here when it cools down and we actually get some rain. Almost done. Just want to get a little bit more of that fat. I'm gonna leave some of that fat on for flavor. And there's, of course, you can see there's fat in there. Take a little bit of that off, not too much. And again, there's a little bit of meat, but that's okay. We're gonna make sausage. So I'm gonna go ahead and say well enough. I'm happy with that. I want that fat, but then we've got this nice meat. And we're gonna go ahead and start our brine. This is gonna be a wet brine, guys. So we've got some water in there, and then we'll throw in our dry ingredients. All right, so we're gonna do our canning salt. We're not using sulfates. We're not using pink salt. It's 1/4 cup of salt. And then we're gonna go ahead and do a 1/2 cup of organic sugar. We're gonna let that marry, but we're gonna throw some spices in there. Okay guys, we're just gonna turn the heat on medium. Get that salt and sugar dissolved. Doesn't need to go to a boil. Just get that sugar and salt dissolved because we want to cool this down so we can pour it over the meat. Now we're going to add our seasoning. Okay. The water is still kind of warm, kind of hot. We're going to add some peppercorns, celery seed. I'm just eyeballing this, guys. Gotta have dill seed. You know, we get a lot of our spices from the local Indian market. You can get everything in bulk. Fennel seed, caraway seed, cumin, and coriander. So we're gonna let this steep probably for about 15 minutes, and then we'll let it cool down for about 30 minutes, and we'll pour it over the brisket, and then we'll come right back. Let that warm up and steep, get all those flavors coming out of those seeds. We'll do that on warm, medium, probably for about a couple of minutes. All right guys, everything's cooled down. I put a little bit of ice. We're gonna go ahead and submerge that brisket in that brine. See? And then we're gonna pop it in the fridge. All right guys, it's in the fridge, in the mud room. We're gonna leave it in there. Today's Wednesday, probably check on it Sunday. It should be done for 5 days. And then we'll show you what it looks like. It's gonna get a really nice pink color. It's gonna cure. And at that point, I don't think we're gonna use it or cook it, but I will tell you a couple of different methods on how you can cook it. You can traditionally boil it with some cabbage and some onions, or you could do the firehouse style, which is where you bake it and you glaze it with a whiskey brown sugar glaze. That's called the firehouse. So we'll come back in about 4 days and we'll see you guys soon. Hey guys, it is Monday. It's been, I think, 5-6 days. I'll have to check the videos. Just been really busy, and our laptop has been out of commission, so we're having that fixed. So our videos are going to be a couple of weeks late, but that's okay. We'll have a bunch of, what are you doing, buddy? Bones is running around. But hey, the corned beef, it's done. I'm going to bring you in close. I'm going to drain it first out of the brine, and then we'll go ahead and show you what it looks like. So guys, it's got a really nice color. It is cured all the way through. Now the ones that you buy in the store, they're going to be bright pink. That's because they're using that nitrate, high nitrate curing salt. We don't do it. We do it kind of old style. So I'm going to basically we're not going to be cooking this. I'm going to be backpacking this, and we're going to wait until temperatures cool down. That's when we like to eat corned beef. Okay guys, we're going to label that, put that in our freezer. We're going to wait until temperatures cool down. I like corned beef and cabbage or, when it's a lot cooler. Right now it's going to be 108 today. But we'll get this posted. Guys, our laptop's been down. We needed a little bit of a break anyway. But this video will probably be out a little later than y'all expected. But just simple. You can make your own corned beef. A couple of ways that you can cook it. I like to just chop it in half, maybe throw it into a pot with some stock, some seasoning, and then just simmer it nice and slow braise for about 2 to 4 hours, and then you can add your onions and cabbage for another hour. Another way that we like to do it's called the firehouse method. I think on our past videos we went to our friend's house, James and Denise, and we showed you guys how the firehouse was. Basically, you're going to simmer it until it starts to get really tender. You take it out, and you're gonna baste it with brown sugar and bourbon, a whiskey. Really good. Puts a glaze on it. But you want to make sure that you get it tender. So just a quick video, guys. I hope you enjoy this. It's hot here, and by the time you get this video, hopefully it's gonna maybe break in the weather a little bit, and maybe we'll get some rain. But for the next 10 days out, they're looking at 105, 104. The next 3 days, 108. So we'll keep you posted on that, and we'll get this on air as soon as possible. God bless, guys. We'll see you later.